You're tuned into Recovery TV, the voice of hope, with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Discussions and information on addiction and mental health issues. Here's your host, John J. Tassoni Jr., with today's guest.
Thank you for joining us for Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. Narcan, please pick it up at the pharmacies, URI, put it in your pocketbook, put it in your car. This saves lives. I'm tired of going to wakes and funerals. Please pick it up. My guest today, Alex Snow, and my new best friend, Leo, from Cranston West High School, joining us today. So, guys, thank you for joining us today. And Alex, you want to talk a little bit about your organization?
Yes, so I've been fortunate and blessed to be given a platform through the FACT program, a program about choices. It actually stands for Fostering Alternative Choices and Thinking. And we was able to affect Leo through this program. It's a program, the founder is Chris Fernier, great guy. He's probation and parole. He and his wife Tina have this program, and we're in all the schools. We go in, we talk about choices. Chris actually lost his brother to an overdose. And the effect that it had on his family, you know, he found himself in a position where he wanted to do something to spare other families and speak out on addiction and the travesty that it brings to families. So we're in all the schools speaking to kids about choices. They're actually having a fundraiser for scholarships. They give out scholarships. We talk about mental health, and it's just a great program, John, where we go into the schools and the community and talk about, you know, the effects opioids is having on our community.
So, Alex, let me intervene on something. Is it only like freshman, sophomore, or is it freshman, sophomore, junior, senior?
Oh no, John, we start at elementary school.
Oh, okay.
Because Chris says that, you know, a lot of times when we go into the elementary, those kids are blank canvases.
Right.
Right. So the illustration that we're giving them, the information that we're giving them, as far as the effects their choices have on their journey, their family, and the community, we start at an early age. Yes, we're in the high schools. A lot of times, you know, unfortunately, the high school kids kind of have it figured out already, and you know, may not lean into the message as deeply. But yeah, we start from as low as 5th grade, and all the way up. We give this message.
You know, you say, I got to tell you, you say that, but I don't know what the problem is with the state. Why they don't have these prevention groups talking to these kids at a very early age.
Yeah,
because, you know, when the job I had a couple of jobs ago, when I was at the training school, I used to talk to the kids all the time. I talk to them about, if you do the right thing, you're on a good path.
Yes.
If you continue to do a bad thing, you're going to end up at the Cranston Hilton. That's
Correct.
what I called it.
Correct.
All right?
Correct.
And then you won't be productive citizens again.
Yes.
And you can't. And the problem is that we don't do a good job because the kids go back to the same environment.
Correct.
You know, and they have the same friends and do the same things day in and day out. I'm glad to see that we have a program now that goes in even 5th grade. Well, you know what? We should be at the 3rd grade, and then maybe the 2nd grade.
Correct.
You know, but you know, it's a point where I see the impact that some of these programs have with the kids. We just did an automated crash scene in Smithfield with the kids. It was prom night, and they were drinking in a car. 2 of the kids in the car got killed.
Yes. I remember.
You know, it was a play.
Yes.
You know, but you know what? I saw the faces of these kids when the actors, because I know you're an actor, the actors really played a key role on how realistic these accidents happen. The kid was hanging out of the car, he was dead. The other girl in the back seat was dead. The young girl who was the girlfriend of the kid who got killed was screaming like there's no tomorrow. It was real.
Yeah.
It was real. And people don't realize it only takes one bad choice. One bad choice that can affect you for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. Chris and I have a saying, you know, when we go into a school and speak, and you may remember me saying this, we take away the choice that I didn't know. Because you can ask a group of kids, John, there'll be 500 kids in an auditorium, and I'll say, you take a vape from your friends, or weed vape, and it's laced with fentanyl, and you drop dead. What happens next? My friend goes to jail. That's the least of what happens. He's supposed to go to jail. They don't turn anybody away in Cranston Hilton.
Right.
He said, here's what happens next. We go ring the mother's doorbell, and life as she knew it is over. We take her down to a hospital, pull back a sheet, hold up your beautiful face and say, is this your kid you raised 15 years, 16 years, whatever, you thought would be anything but the victim of his friend's choice? You thought would be a doctor, a lawyer, even a couch potato, right? And then picture, and we see it all the time, John, a mother standing in front of a room trying to tell the world how special you would have been. Would have been, what your kids would have looked like, what job you would have. It really is over. I personally have a foundation called Instinctive Choices that is a sister to FACT. And in my town, North Kingstown's ahead of the curve because they use the opioid money to pay me as an interventionist to give this information to kids, to give them not the PG version. A lot of schools want you to come in and give this. There's nothing PG about an overdose or about a mother losing their child. So we come in, I work closely with Fire, and they have this dynamic approach of being proactive to change the mindset and the lens that the kids see recreational drugs through. We don't have an active population, John, of youth that are seeking opioids, but they have behaviors, mental health issues that could be one day conducive to them gravitating towards that. Right. Or when the recreational drugs aren't doing it for them anymore. And so we come in and give you the information you need. And again, we spoke about it earlier, John. Anything to do with fentanyl is not an overdose. It's a poisoning, right? And this young man was able to get that message at a young age. You were 14 then, right?
Yes.
At 14, and wrote an essay about the effects that not just myself, there's other presenters, Jen, Rebecca. We talk about not just overdoses and opioids, but we talk about suicide, right? We talk about a lot of different things, but I love the show because this is a platform where, you know, it's about that.
It's real.
Yeah, no one wants to have these conversations because it isn't just addicts overdosing anymore or people seeking drugs. We have one-timers. I lost a kid to a Adderall, took it one time. I lost a kid to a nicotine vape that had fentanyl in it. So, I mean, it's just so important. But you know, the FACT program is a program that is geared towards not just helping the kids, but the parents. You'll find, John, when you go into these schools and you're working with these kids, a lot of times it's the parent that needs to work more than the kid.
Oh, no doubt.
Unfortunately, that's sometimes the case, but
you know, I just got to interject on something. You know, we had that mock crash, and that night we had a thing for the parents. One parent.
see,
The whole auditorium, I got 22,000 people in Smithfield. One parent showed up.
it's something. It's something, I'll tell you. You know, when you think of this work and when you think of the lives you can save, the hardest thing Chris and I had to learn was we can't save them all. But I'll go into an auditorium with 500 kids. If we just get one kid, John.
You know what? At least you can go home at night and put your head on the pillow.
Yes.
We got to take a break, and then Leo's on the hot seat.
Okay.
You're watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, Sean Tassoni. We'll be right back with Leo on the hot seat right after these messages.
Boy.
And now, back to Recovery TV with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Recovery TV is made possible by our supporting sponsors and our title sponsor, AdCare. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome back to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, Sean Tassoni. The FACT is in the house. The fact is, my next guest, Leo Finkel, who is at Cranston West High School. Welcome, Leo, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me how you got involved in this.
So, like months ago, my ELA teacher brought us to this assembly, and it was loud, all the kids were talking, doesn't really matter, but the assembly really spoke to me because Mr. Alex Snow here, he talked, and a bunch of other people talked about their personal experiences or experiences of their loved ones who either overdosed or got involved in drugs in some way and made bad choices. And the assembly really spoke to me, and they had an essay competition. So I wrote my essay. Like, I forgot about it until like the night of. So I spent like 4 hours from like 10:30 to into the morning hours writing out my essay. And I reread it today. And
you submitted it, and what happened?
oh yeah, after I submitted it, I waited for like a month or two. And so there's the first semester and then second semester, they called me down to like the main foyer, and like the people were there and they presented me with, like, they told me you won first place, and they presented me with my scholarship.
Wow, what kind of scholarship was it?
It was $150 of Visa gift cards.
Really? Now, you want to go to school after high school?
I do.
What do you want to do?
I want to work with animals when I grow up.
Animals?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Me and you are on the same page. I work with animals, too. When I was in the legislature, I did all animal legislation. I'm the one that got rid of the gas chambers in Rhode Island for all the animals.
Nice.
So I love animals. Animals sometimes are better than people.
Yeah.
You know, so you're on the right path. But I want to know how you got your brain to hook on to something like this with Alex.
So I am very naturally an empath. I feel everyone's emotions all the time, and so I'm also an extrovert. So I don't know if that helps.
Got a lot of big words there, my friend.
So basically, like everyone's emotions, everyone had such heavy emotions, and like I felt it very deeply. So I just wrote out my emotions onto paper or online.
So you won the award, all right? Did the school do anything for you?
No.
No, of course not. You know, I mean, people that watch this show, we're up to about 11,000 folks on a weekend that watch this show, which is kind of cool, but it's concerning to me because that many people watch the show knowing that they have issues within their family. When I first started doing this kind of work, it was 1 in 5 families it would affect, this opioid issue. Now we're one-on-one. The amount of people that this epidemic has hit, if you go out and you do a survey throughout the state, do you know somebody who has died of an overdose? Do you know someone who has had an overdose? You're going to be one-on-one on families. And I say this all the time, Leo. I'm tired of going to wakes and funerals of kids.
Amen.
All right? And it's not only the kids now. We just had an episode in Smithfield. We had 3 gentlemen in a car in their 60s. Hit a pole. The 2 gentlemen in the back seat were dead. The driver, he overdosed also. But lucky that my police department had the Narcan. They saved all 3. But just think of that, 60-year-old folks. And here's the reason why I want you to think of that. We have all these prescription drugs. You go in for a surgery. The docs now will give you 8 to 10 pills. If you're still in pain, you call your doctor and say, Doc, listen, I'm in still a lot of pain with my knee, the replacement. I need more pain pills. They're going to say, no, I can't give it to you. So what do? They go to the street. Okay? And a lot of these folks here are in senior housing. Now the drug dealers are hanging at the senior housing looking for clients who may need pain medicine. But it's not pain medicine, it's fentanyl. In my last guest, you saw Fred Trapassi talk about the kids' issues. Now alcohol has surpassed the opioid crisis in residential treatment. Why? Because people are afraid now to go to the street and to get pain pills when they're not really pain pills. They're fentanyl. So they're going to the liquor stores instead. So now we got an overrun now of people with alcohol poisoning, alcohol abuse, alcohol comas, alcohol everything. It's just the way the system is. You know, and I'm going to tell you, Leo, we need 10,000 kids like you.
Absolutely.
That will bring the fact of the issue to the forefront. You know, anyone who writes a resume or a piece of paper to win a contest, that's got his head on the right way, you're going to be an amazing young man.
Headed for
Thank
big
you.
things.
You know, you're headed for big things. And when you open up your veterinarian clinic, I want to make sure you call me, because I'll sit at the front desk and I'll get the animals into. But let me tell you something. You're a smart young man, and hopefully, as I tell my grandson, you got to be a leader. You can't be a follower, and you got to instill that into your classmates. You got to be a leader. You can't be a follower. Because what happens with followers? They end up at the Cranston Hilton, or they end up at a funeral home.
Correct.
You know.
You know, John, it's funny because I do remember, you know, you got, what, 200 kids were in there, and the kids next to him were chattering away. And he's the kid that says, hey, this may not be for you, but don't take it away
Ruin it
from
for the rest of
for
us.
the people that it is for. You know, he's not a big kid, you know. But strength isn't measured by size, man.
Right.
Or who you can impose your will on. It's measured by what you're able to resist, stand up for, and believe in. You know, John, I just want to ask everybody, if you don't mind, to join us for the fundraiser for the FACT program, sponsored by Top Golf. Hopefully you'll be there. It's on October 5th from 1 to 4. You can purchase tickets, spectator tickets, hole-in-one tickets. All the information is at fact-rhodeisland.org. Please join us. This is a scholarship fundraiser where we try to help kids like Leo.
Well, what are you trying to accomplish with that fundraiser?
So-
I mean, you can't give Dunkin' Donut cards. I mean,
No, there's all kind of prizes for this fundraiser, John. There's you name it. There's
no,
raffle.
I'm talking about the issue of what you want to raise the money for.
Oh, for scholarships for kids,
Right.
scholarships for kids, and just awareness for the message of FACT.
And you know what? I'm gonna go to break, but I want to talk about this when we come back. 'Cause
Okay.
we need scholarships for kids who are going into these treatment programs.
Absolutely.
And going to college to be MSWs and substance abuse counselors. That's what we need.
Bravo.
We'll talk
Bravo.
more about that.
Yes, sir.
You're watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. We'll be right back after these messages with my new best friend, Leo, right after this.
And now, back to Recovery TV with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Recovery TV is made possible by our supporting sponsors and our title sponsor, AdCare. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome back to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. The Fact, fostering alternative choices and thinking, are in the house today. And I want to thank my two guests, Alex and Leo. Thank you for joining us today. And I know, Leo, once this airs, you're going to be the head of the Cranston West. So thank you for joining us today. And thank you for writing that essay, because it means a lot, coming from a young man who went to an auditorium to listen to someone speak. Half the auditorium probably wasn't paying attention. They were just there because it was time out of the classroom. But the other half, and then we got you with the essay that won the whole thing. So thank you for doing that. And again, remember, be a leader, don't be a follower. All right? You got that. You heard it here first. So, Alex, I want to thank you for coming on,
My pleasure.
sharing your story.
Yes, sir.
You know, this is going to air just before school ends, so the fundraiser at Top Golf will be Sunday, October 5th from 1 to 4. Ticket information at fact-rhodeisland.org. Get on that computer, send your donations, which is much needed, and help these kids get their education that they need and help them get through college for MSWs and people who are in the substance use and mental health field. So I really greatly appreciate you guys having that fundraiser and doing what you need to do. Actually, I'm going to put this on my calendar, and hopefully I'll make a guest appearance and maybe do some more signing of autographs, and we'll do other things to help you guys do what you need to do.
Absolutely.
So again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yep.
We'll see you folks next week, hopefully, on Recovery TV. And I'm your host, John Tassoni. Thank you for joining us. See you next week. If you see something, say something.
Thank you.